So what we are doing today is we are going to learn how to graph from vertex form. This is what vertex form looks like. Okay. So before, you guys saw the quadratics in a form of like a x squared minus 2x plus 4, something like that. Okay, I don't even think that one works, but that's okay. So you guys saw that before, and we were able to do the negative b over 2a to figure out the vertex and then figure out a table of values. Now it's going to look like this guy, where a has a value, maybe it's just 1, so we actually don't see what's out there. H has a value, and K has a value. So it looks a little different than what it did before, but we call this vertex form. And this allows us to find the vertex of the parabola. Remember, the vertex is the point that's either the lowest point or the tallest point that the parabola goes down from or up from. Okay? So the vertex xy comes from the H and the K value. So it comes from this guy and this guy. Okay? You take the opposite of the H and keep the K as your xy for the vertex. So let's look at the one that I just made up and wrote down right here. Okay? This is my H value. This is my K value. This tells me my vertex. The vertex is opposite of this negative 4. So what's opposite of a negative 4? Positive 4. And we keep the K value. So 3. That becomes my xy for my point, my vertex point. Does that make sense? Any questions on that? So that's what they mean. Take the opposite of your H. So if it was negative, it becomes positive. If it was positive, it becomes negative. And keep the K for your xy. Your axis of symmetry is, remember, axis of symmetry is the x equals line, right? So it is x equals the opposite of h, so negative h, of the equation. So if I'm looking at this equation again for everything, this is what I'm going to use this equation. My AOS is x equals, what is it? What does your x equal here? What did we say it was? 4. Opposite, so negative h. Opposite of a negative 4 is a positive 4, so that's why it's equal to 4. If your a value is positive, what is my a value here? See where a comes? A comes right before the parentheses. Yes, there's no number here, so my a value is 1. So if my a value is positive, is 1 positive or negative? Positive. The parabola will open up. So this parabola is going to open up. If a is negative, though, the parabola will open down. Find the y-intercept by substituting 0 for x. So let's try that. So I'm going to take this equation here, and in the place of x, I'm going to put 0. So I'm going to do parentheses 0 minus 4 squared plus 3. What's 0 minus 4? What's 0 minus 4? Negative 4. What's negative 4 squared? So negative 4 times negative 4. 16. What's 16 plus 3? 19. So your y-intercept is at 19. As a point, remember we plugged in 0 for x, and we get 19 for y. That is your y-intercept. You're going to determine the x value for the point that is blank to the y-intercept, so mirrored image. You're going to plug in x to get the y for your other point on the graph. These 2 points, don't worry about this. Okay, we're going to try some of these. That's a lot of verbiage, a lot of words, but we need to actually try it to make sure we understand, right? So here is my equation in vertex form. Okay? My vertex, remember, opposite of h, keep k. This kind of got off whenever we were printing. This is 2, and that's a squared. You guys see that? Okay. What would your vertex be? Opposite of h, keep k. So it would be what, comma, what? Very good. Opposite of this -2, which is a positive 2, keep k, so 4. What's your AOS then going to be? X equals how much? 2. Remember, it comes from your vertex. Your y-intercept is when we plug in 0 for y, right? Or sorry, 0 for x. So you know your x value is 0. Okay? So I'm going to plug in 0 for this guy. So I'm going to do 2 parentheses 0 minus 2 squared plus 4. So order of operations, parentheses first. What's 0 minus 2? Good. What is -2 times -2? Positive 4. What's 4 times 2? 8. What's 8 plus 4? 12. So your y-intercept is at 0, 12. We're going to draw a quick sketch of this. You have a vertex at over 2, up 4. You have a y-intercept of 0, up 12. You guys see that? We need one more point. So we have an x value of 2, an x value of 0. What's one more point? If I were making a table, we have a 0, 12. We have a 2, 4. What else should I do? What? What's one more I should do, guys? I need another x value. Here's my vertex. I didn't write that very well. So we want 2 above and 2 below, right? If I do -2, that would be all the way down here. Do I want all those values for x? No. What's 2 below 2? What's 2 less than 2, guys? What's 1 less than 2? 1. What's 2 minus 1, guys? What's 2 minus 1? Everyone, what's 2 minus 1? Okay, what's 2 minus 2? 0. Right? What's 2 above 2? 4. What's 1 above 2? Remember the table? You guys remember doing the table? You're kind of doing that when you're finding your other points. So I have 2, 4. I have 0, 12. I need to find my 1, whatever. What do I do with this 1? I plug it in for what? I plug it in for the x up here. So guys, everyone, what's 1 minus 2? -1. What's -1 squared? 1. What's 1 times 2? 2. What's 2 plus 4? We should know from what we've done that these points mirror image. What should 3 have a value of? 6. What should 4 have a value of? 12. So let's plot this. Over 1 up 6. Over 3 up 6. Over 4 up 12. Is that making a U shape? Yes. Okay. On number 2, I want for you to find the vertex the AOS, and the Y-intercept on your own right now. Vertex, AOS, and Y-intercept. Awesome. -3, -5. Opposite of positive 3, keep the -5. So what's your AOS going to be then? Awesome. Good job. What's my Y-intercept going to be? You plug in 0 for x, so that's your x value. So when you plug in 0 for x, what do you get? If you didn't do it right now. Plug in 0 for x. Oh, maybe. Close. What's 0 plus 3, guys? What's 3 squared? What's 9 times -24? What's -36 minus 5? -41. Okay? Now, one other point. Here's what you're going to do. Let me see if I can explain it a different way that makes more sense. Look at these two x values. We used an x value of -3 at the vertex, and our y-intercept is 0. We need another x value that's in between those. What are some numbers that are in between those? Say it loud so I can hear, guys. -1 and -2. You're going to pick one of those. Which one do you guys want to use? I heard -2. So we're going to use -2. We're going to play with that or do that just like we did the y-intercept. Plug in -2. What's -2 plus 3? 1. What's 1 squared? 1 times 1 is 1. What's 1 times -4? Yep, and what's -4 minus 5? Negative what? 9. There's your other point. Okay? I want you to try all of 3 on your own. Find the vertex, find the AOS, find the y-intercept, and find one other point. -2. What's your AOS at then? X equals 1. Guys, remember when you put that answer into Schoology, you have to put the x equals with it, right? No spaces. Your y-intercept is when you plug in 0 for x. So if I plug in 0 for x, what do I get for my y value? -3 is correct. Okay, remember how I told you you need to find a number in between this x value and this x value? Is there a whole number in between 0 and 1? So just, if I'm going 0, 1, what would my next number be? 2. So let's do 2 for your other point if you didn't already do that. So if I plug in 2, what's 2 minus 1? What's 1 squared? And then add the negative to it, right? Ugh. That's a negative, what? 1? And then -1 minus 2. -3. That gave us our mirror image point, which won't help us graphing, but we'll talk about that later more when we're actually graphing so you guys can see that. Okay, here's what I want for you to do now. There is a Schoology homework assignment that is going in there. There's only 2 questions on it. It is 4.5, I believe, is what the name is. Okay, so that's what you need to do right now